Oh, happy Thanksgiving. Now, let's see, Tampa Tom was first. Fish Room Fever is next. Logan, Ambus Aquatics is after that. And then we have Anthony's Fishy Friends. Thank you guys so much for being here on this wonderful Thanksgiving. We have so much to be thankful for. We have fish, we have friends, we have all these sorts of things. Hello, the Zen Ginger. Welcome to the live stream. So it's so today Bolo woke me up incredibly early. And so I made a pot of coffee and drank it all, and then went to Waffle House for breakfast. Waffle House. And let me tell you, the pork chops and eggs, they were delicious. Delicious. Oh, you see it dysfunctional. Yeah, Jack Black's the best. Here's what I watched on Netflix. A thing about Ivan the Terrible, John Demjanjuk, who was this apparently a prison guard that was pretty nasty in Poland during World War II. He's Ukrainian. Very interesting. Hey, Dr. Big Boss Ted. You are the mob too. Yes, you are. Welcome. Bob Kaler, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all. 5 here already. Thank you guys so much. So it's I'm going to start making Thanksgiving dinner and to as soon as we're done with the live stream today, I have I have like canned beans, which I think I'll do, and I'll give some to the fish. And you see, there you go, Zen Ginger. It's my sister invited me up to Chicago. Here was the problem. I have to work tomorrow, and it's a 10-hour drive. Thank you very much, Bob. Yep, please give me a like. And I know Dr. Big Boss Ted is going to vote no, which is that's his way. A taco is a hard shell or a soft shell tortilla with some meat and cheese and maybe some veggies in it, maybe a little guacamole or sour cream, Dr. Big Boss Ted. It's if you go to Mexico, again, my ex-wife is Mexican. I've been to Mexico. If I have been once, and by the way, I am not arguing. I have I've been to Mexico at least 40 times. 40. And in Mexico, they do a bunch of different types of tacos. Probably the most popular are taco al pastor, chorizo. It's I forget beef tongue. I forget what they call it, lingua or something like that. The other one they do, and holiday bonus. Zen Ginger's not wearing pants. I'm wearing pants today. I'm wearing shorts. It's 35 degrees out and raining, so it's all good. Well, the big taco to get in Mexico is barbacoa borrego. Barbacoa borrego is barbecue, and borrego is lamb barbecue. And on formal occasions, let's say like an anniversary dinner or a birthday dinner or what have you, the big meal to get in Mexico is cabrito. And cabrito is baby lamb or baby goat, and it's very, very good. So, yeah, so I'm all about tacos. So I've got a couple of smoked turkey wings. I've got the potatoes. I've got the veggies. I've got the pie. In fact, for lunch today, I had a slice of apple pie because I can do whatever I want. I don't have to worry about it. It's all on my deal. But the apple pie was rocking good. I got it from the Fine Culinary Baking Suite at Walmart. It's okay. I'll tell you is that it's like hit and miss. It's not like your mom's, and that's kind of a big deal. So there you go. Yeah, I can do whatever I want. I can eat dessert first. So I've got these smoked turkey wings. Take about an hour to heat up. The potatoes will take longer. So as soon as we're done with the live stream, I'll crank up the oven. I'll get the potatoes in probably for about 45 minutes, so they're just about right. Then put in the turkey for an hour and then feast. So Bolo is handing out. He's hanging out here today. Let's see if we can see him. I mean, he is. Push this back so you can see his face. As you can see, he is totally out, totally asleep. So it's he he's enjoying it. Hey, Tater Salad, our Denmark guy. Welcome, 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 Denmark, to the live stream. Let's see here. It's football. It's a big football Saturday. I figured I could go at noon because it's just the Bears versus the Lions. They both are terrible. So there you go. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Dr. Big Boss Ted, I am most days I am a vegetarian to a vegan. I eat meat, 2, 3 times, once or twice a week, sometimes 3 times at the most, sometimes, just once. Um, and now I'll tell you, um, it I figure for a holiday like this to have turkey is part of the deal. It's all good, and yeah, slaughterhouses are not that great of places to go see. If you get any queasy at all, that ain't a place you want to go, and I sure wouldn't want to work there. It's it's a good thing, but it's a good source of protein. Our problem with as a society, by the way, with eating is not necessarily with the proteins we eat. It has to do with the carbohydrates. Simple carbs. Simple carbs. And so, I'm having potatoes today. I don't like yams. I'm not big a fan of yams. I'll tell you what, the food processed foods, is that what you're saying, Zen Ginger? Um, I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. And again, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a geek. But I read a lot. Daryl Deemer, how you doing? You sent me a message. I haven't written you back yet, Daryl, but I will. And so it's I looked at it this morning at like 4 a.m. when my dog decided that it was time for me, your erstwhile friend, to get up. And so I've been running around. I haven't answered any messages today, really. So I'll get back to you. Um, it's protein shakes are really good. The one type of shake I do is I get yogurt and with blueberries or strawberries, some oatmeal, a little bit of honey, Greek yogurt, plain, rocking good, rocking good. And so it's so that's the deal. But today it's all about feasting. And if you've never, well, here's the deal. I would prefer to get, since I'm just cooking for one, I would prefer to get turkey thighs. Unfortunately, I went to a couple of grocery stores, they didn't have them, and I found the smoked wings and they looked really good, so I picked those up. The turkey thighs, which I do like doing, I'm a ways, I'm about an hour away from Fayetteville. And I sort of weighed on Sunday whether I should just drive down to Fayetteville and pick those up or not. And I decided not to. And so that's what I ended up doing. So I'm pretty happy though with my food choice, and it'll be good. So I'll follow it up with more pie, and maybe perhaps a barley pop. So it's as I get into a food coma and perhaps even get a nap in today, which I think would be all star. And so, how many of you guys have the whole weekend off? And yeah, I know. It's so the fish. As soon as I'm done with the live stream today, not only am I starting the oven, I have a jumbo load of baby brine shrimp that'll be ready for the fish tank. So I'll go and just I'll gorge them out. Well, none of us in the fish room have quote unquote days off. Really, when it's all said and done, it's we're always going out to do different things with the fish room and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, there is something to be said about that, Logan. It's so I've got I'm gonna get that stuff around. Okay, so they went through and treated the pest control people came into my place on Tuesday, and I ended up covering the aquariums with sheets, and everything's fine. All the fish look good. My worm cultures look good. Everything looks good. Here's what I need to do though. Is that I dumped out. I have my reservoir of water. I emptied that out. I finished doing Big J's in the house. How are you? Welcome to the live stream. I went and I have it here, and I have to load it up with water and treat the water, and hopefully I can do some water changes on Saturday. That'll be nice 48 hours of going through there. Last water change, I had some funky stuff happen in my aquarium, so I'm going to double up on Chem Prime, and so a buddy of mine was telling me, yeah, they may have be doing something funky with your water, and so all of a sudden I had fish clamping up. I had all sorts of stuff, and I had to go in and I did a treat. I didn't know if it was an illness going through the aquarium or what have you. I ended up going through and giving treating two of my aquariums with erythromycin, general cure. I didn't do ICX because that wasn't necessary. So there you go. I will say this is that the new aquariums I'll be putting up next week, I'm going to set up the first 4 of 8 10-gallon aquariums I have. I'm putting a substrate in them. I'm going to order some more shrimp. It's going to be Guppy and shrimp tank. And let me tell you something about my shrimp. The fire red shrimp are just exploding, absolutely exploding, which is very, very cool. I was watching, and by the way, and I have to figure out, I was watching TM Aquatics, and my Corridoras, I would like to breed them, and I have plecos that I have a pleco beginning to go into the new cave, so that's kind of cool. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, Chewy. Welcome to the live stream. And TM Aquatics is a really a cool egg tumbler. He says it's not a cheap one; it's like a $30 one. Do I need $30 more of stuff in my fish room? Yes. Of course I do. Who doesn't? Canadian Thanksgiving was what, a couple of weeks ago, Chewy? Today's drink, Diet 7-Up, go Vikings. Skol. In October, yep. Canadian Thanksgiving. Very polite. And so, yeah, so that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to end up, I'm going to set up these aquariums. I have substrate that I got that's shrimp oriented. So I'm going to spread this out. I got like a 10-pound bag. I'll spread it over on the bottom of, yep, Skol. It's my Scandinavian heritage is coming out. I'm like the opposite of every person of Scandinavian heritage. I'm not, 7'2". Yeah, I'm not, real tall. Obviously, don't have blonde hair. I do have the blue eyes. I have the green eyes. Let's see here. Let's see. Did that frighten you? I'm sure it did. And by the way, in the whole political correctness realm that we as a society are in, as being woke, do we really want to name a football team after rapers and pillagers? It's it just bringing it up. But I love my Vikings. Go Vikings! This is a time for the Super Bowl year, so I'm excited about it. All I want is one in my life. One. I don't care. I just want one. One Super Bowl. I got to see my Minnesota Twins win, which twice, which was unbelievable, memory of a lifetime. If they never win again, I'll be happy. But to see my Vikings win would be really, really strong, really strong. So yeah, so I'm looking at the egg tumbler for the Placostomuses, and so if I get that in place, um, as going through, I think I'm a couple of months away from them doing any egg type action. I think I have a male, and he's beginning to scout out the new pleco caves that I have, which is fantastic. And so that's really, really terrific. He's got the pleco cave scanned. He's got, so that's all good, all good. And Chewy means soccer. I'll tell you what, it's my late father-in-law was a huge, he liked, as they say in Espanol, football americano in football. And I watched a lot of soccer or football with the father-in-law, and I got to learn a lot about the game that I didn't quite know about, and so that was fun to learn that skill. I don't think I've watched a complete soccer game since he passed. I saw some of the Premier League, I don't know, a couple of months ago, which was interesting. And were you a hockey player, Chewy? I grew up in Minnesota, so hockey is a pretty big deal there. And my old man would not allow us to play hockey. My brother and I both wanted to play hockey. And my old man looked at us, he said this. The tater salad, that's funny. That's very, very funny. My old man was very realistic. He goes, guys, you're not going to be pro athletes. You play sports to enjoy and to have fun. Why don't you play basketball? All you need are a pair of sneakers and shorts. That was his line. In today's world, tennis shoes now are like $400, $500 thing. Back then, back in the day, in the old times for you youngins, they were $10. So yeah, so I love that egg tumbler. So I'm gonna get one of those. And badminton, I love badminton. I think it's great. It's one of the few sports I can play reasonably well, and you can play it while holding a beverage. Zachary Link, welcome to the live stream. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm actually surprised our buddy Melvin isn't here, but I'm guessing he's probably eating. It's now for those and if you celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving, what time of day do you normally eat? I'll tell you how this works in my family. My dad's side of the family eat about 3 p.m., 4 p.m. And my mom's side of the family would eat at 7, 8. There was one year that turkey was served, and it was scheduled this way. It wasn't. We ate at 9 p.m. And I went out to. I was out on the West Coast in California. I was living in the Midwest at the time, and so it's like 11 p.m. And of course, it was just, and this was one of these things where everyone was dressed up nice because I think the food was catered. I mean, it was really a nice dinner. I really enjoyed it, but it was just, it was, so there I am in a suit with my wingtips, going in right from there. So, yeah, no, the badminton is a great sport. I played as a kid. In high school, we actually did in gym class a badminton tournament. It was a one-on-one, and and we did that for a full, I think we did it for like 2 months, and it was great. It was absolutely fun in high school, and it's a great sport, and it's highly underrated. Here's the game I don't quite get, the international game that I don't know if it's as big in Canada as it is in like Australia and England and Scotland and all that sort of stuff. What I don't quite get is cricket. I haven't quite picked up cricket yet, or lacrosse. I watched some lacrosse on TV. I just it was fun to watch. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. So there you go. So yeah, so I'm gonna get the rack up. It's gonna be right over here. Um, it's and I have the aquarium, so I'll get those in. I'll get those 4 aquariums up and cycling this week. Then um, I've set up some guppy breeders. I've been watching this one male that I've shown in previous videos. He is really cool colored. I really like him. But he's a sword-tailed guppy, and I've been concerned about his sword. And so the more I'm watching him, I think the sword is coming in. So I'm gonna have to put him in one of these tanks and with a couple of ladies. Hello, ladies. So, and I have to spread out my plants. My guppy grass and hornwort are growing out really nice. And I was going through tanks. Uh, it's going through tanks, pulling out males like a week ago, and I swear to you, like 3 days later, I look in and there's another pesky male. So it's I've got to do that again, and you know, perhaps I'll do that when I do water changes this week. So again, I just want to get rid of all, get all the males over to the 55, so I can let them grow out and then just pick out future breeders. But my swordtail guppies are doing absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic. The Roebuck Reds are doing well too, so that's absolutely great. So it's lots of fun. Um, so I think the idea here is that is getting those things in place, spreading out the plants, and then I have to get more shrimp. I'm probably going to start a second colony of the fire reds, and because I really like them, and so and then I don't know if I'm going to do blue dreams or I'm going to do the yellow shrimp. So I'll figure that out. Yeah, maybe I'll do them both. And so that's all good. But yeah, I'm the guppies are breeding. Everything is going really well in the fish room right now. No problems at the moment. So I'm looking forward to it. It's I'm guessing I'm probably about 8 to 12 weeks away. So I put young females in with this swordtail females with the red blonde cobra, and because he lost his lady and there were no fry. So we'll see what goes on with that. My goal would be to come up with a red blonde cobra swordtail. That's sort of my goal. So so we'll see what we get from from that mix. I don't think these females have been hit yet, so I think these will all be his, but we'll know when after the babies are born. And let's see. So people are saying Mr. Dr. Big Boss Ted says he could take on Michael Jordan. Okay, that's good. That's good. So yeah. So other than that, um, it's just all the different stuff of getting going with the aquariums and with all that stuff. I know you guys go through all this with it, and what I like best about doing the live streams and doing the videos and stuff like that is that it's kind of a chronicle of the fish fam, of sort of what we do. I'm not necessarily there's people more knowledgeable about me, about the aquarium hobby than I am. Um, but and I think we can all pick up stuff from each other. I've picked up stuff from nearly every video I've seen, or it's confirmed things that I thought I knew, and which I really appreciate and go through. Um, the one thing I've always sort of been uh, I've been an amateur geneticist, and so uh, being a being a amateur geneticist and appreciating genetics and all that sort of stuff, and is that it's the professor being Dr. Black, Dr. Big Boss Ted, is the process of define amateur geneticist. I don't have a degree in genetic microbiology, genetics. I do not have that type of background. I'm a layman. I study it. I appreciate the art, so that's what makes me an amateur geneticist. I'm working a lot on theory, and so again, that's what I mean by amateur, which a lot of us are in the fish fam are amateur geneticists, especially if you're breeding for different traits, you're doing different stuff like that. It's the idea here is that this one male that I really love his traits, that if he if his sword comes in, well, I want to see if I can breed a straight line of those. So I'm going to put him in with his half sisters, and I'm going to see if I can breed that line, and then breed him to his daughters, and see if I can breed that color through. And the the red blonde cobra, my goal here is I just want to, since I lost the female, I want to know if I can breed these things, and after 3, 4, 5, 10 generations, whatever it is, come up with a red blonde cobra swordtail. Sort of what I'm after. Yeah, I think I did take part of college biology was genetics for me, and high school stuff. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it, Chewy. So it's no, I've not heard of Richard Price. I probably should know who it is, but I have not. I've read a couple of books on guppy genetics. I have them in a box. I have them in a box somewhere because I've moved a couple of times, and but it's fascinating reading, and what we know. Here's the one thing I don't know about, and uh, I should ask about this, is that do the have they done a DNA profile of guppies? I was just curious. Have they done what they've done with people and with other animals, where they've gone in and they've followed through? Ah, oh, that's interesting. Let me look him up. Chewy. And there I found it. Richard Price, geneticist. And Richard, yeah, Richard Price. And no, this isn't the right one. I'll find it. We'll go and do that. And here we go. At UC San Francisco, hereditary molecular genetics and pathopsychology. So there we go. That's very, very cool. The guy I know I'm going to learn from in this is that is Alan Bias, who is the sword-tailed guppy guy. He's, I think, a geneticist. He's a college professor, and he's written these really long papers on guppy genetics, and which I think is really, really terrific. So I need to learn more from him. And yeah, he may not. Oh, okay. All right. Very good. Thanks, Chewy. And full DNA is the zebra danio. Well, and I know the zebra danio has been done. A lot of different things. College classes breed them, stuff like that. There's a college in Texas. I think it's Texas State, where they actually have rare live bearers. Hey, Griffin Fish Room, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for being here. By the way, folks, 7 here, 10 likes. Thank you guys so much. I know today's a tough day because we have family and stuff to deal with. Bolo and I, we're gonna be hanging out. Bolo will not be getting any turkey. Thank you very much, because it will make him sick. So he has his normal treats, which he loves, and so that's sort of the thing that it goes through. So, yep, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all. So that's what I'm going to do is that I'll set up this other aquarium with the breeders. And I'm just about the point where I'm getting males and females with and one of the reasons I have to have more tanks set up pretty quick is that my Roebuck Reds are growing out pretty good, and I'm just getting to the point. I'm probably like 2-3 weeks away from beginning to separate the sexes. I'm beginning to have development, which is great, and they're doing really well for me. I really appreciate. They're gorgeous. I really enjoy them. So I'm going to get. I'll go and set up males, and what I've been doing right now, and is that I've been setting up. By the way, Aquatics, BTW Aquatics. Is it By the way Aquatics or BTW Aquatics? Hey, good night, Dr. Big Boss Ted. Yeah, it's have a good night there in Aussie land. Love my Australians. So it's sleep well. So the process of getting of getting these set up is that I'm basically gonna set up virgin females, and I'll have one tank. And excellent, excellent, perfect. That's a good way to do it. So that's really good, Brian. I really appreciate having you here in the live stream, by the way. Um, so that's what I'll end up and go and do. So I'm looking forward to that very, very much, and just begin the process of it's I'll tell you, I'm at the point where I don't have enough. Hey, D, down the wormhole. Thank you so much for being a part of the live stream. Great having you here. So it's Yep. So Bolo's over here. He's now sitting next to me with all 4 feet in the air, like you just don't care. So there you go. Um, yeah. So other than that, I'll tell you what. Turkey coma is going to be very, very welcome. I enjoy that very much, and it's and everybody's eating well here today. So it's all a part of the fun. Um, what else I'm looking forward to very much so is I'm as I get these aquariums up, my Amica splendens are growing out really, really nice. Hey D, you have Amica splendens. When do I begin to see? I've seen signs where all of a sudden I think I have a male developing, but how long down the line before you begin to notice you have males and females? Because I got these really small. They're about 3 months old, and they've almost tripled in size since I got them. So it's and you keep and anybody else who keeps Amica splendens, please let me know because it's I'm watching them grow. They're gorgeous. I've got to do a water change on their aquarium but they look great. They look absolutely great. And oh, you're in Singapore, Doctor Big Boss Ted is in Singapore. I thought he was an Aussie. Well, it's okay. Singapore is wonderful. Love us. Love Singapore. Love all the folks all over the place. Yeah, I've noticed the color D, but it they haven't really kicked in full on yet, so I'm waiting for that. But I've I received 8. I've got to have at least one male here, so it's I probably end up having 7 males and 1 female. But it is how that works. It's all of a sudden they'll develop. You'll go oh. It's now it's more tropical here than it probably is in Canada, in Alberta. Yeah, I know they don't have a podium, but is just I was waiting for the coloration to kick in, and they haven't quite done that yet. So I'm waiting. I'm patient. It's I'm feeding them. They're good. Okay, I'll look at that and go from there, and just again just enjoying them very much. They're a gorgeous fish. It's hey Pam, 54 Punchy, happy Thanksgiving. And it's raining today in Joplin, and it's 34 degrees. And I would rather have it snowing at 20 degrees. It's that wet, soggy weather is not really not my deal. Not my deal at all. So I'm hoping that that kicks in and we have that drop some degrees. Tomorrow is going to be rainy. It's going to be like between 49 and 51 or something like that tomorrow. So it's going to be warming up. All right. Excellent, Chewy. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry about the fire. Fires suck. It's fires. I don't know what you'd rather have. Prefer. Hey, Crystal, welcome to the live stream. I don't know what you'd prefer more. Again, I'm going through a fire, going through a flood, are having like earthquake, tornado damage. Those are all so devastating to people. And I think fire and uh, when you lose stuff, you lose your memories, you lose stuff, like pictures and all that sort of thing. It's that's really sort of the deal. And so whenever you can go out and spend time with your uh, you know I guess one of the neat things about the time and age that we're in is the idea that you can copy in, you can scan in all your pictures, you can put them all in the cloud. So if something bad happens, you can always access them. And I know people who've lost everything in their homes, everything, and it's just awful. So it's something that no one really wants to go out and do. So as I go through and get ready for the wonders of today's meal, I'll think about people who have it. There's a lot of people who have it. You've had gone through what you have, Julie, with a fire. It's just it's not it's not a good deal whatsoever. So it's just yeah, it sucks. So Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for many things this year, and I'm thankful, for my health. I'm thankful I no longer have a gallbladder. Thankful for the fishies, for Bolo the Pooch. I'm thankful for you and you guys taking time out because you have millions of places to go. There's millions of websites. There's all these different things, and when you guys come out and spend time with me, I really appreciate it. And so again, thank you. You're making my happy Thanksgiving happy. So the process here of getting the fish room up and running, I have to figure out what I did. I ordered heaters and I don't know where I put them. So I had to move all this junk around because the landlords were coming in. They want us to pack everything up. And so I packed everything away, and now I'm busy trying to find it again. And I know you're saying, well, you're the one, Peter, who packed it away. Why don't you know? Didn't you put labels on anything? Of course I didn't put labels on anything. I never put labels on anything. You know why? I don't think that way. I just go try to get the work done and go from there. And and every time I move and open up a box, going, ooh, I know what this box is. I know it's in there. I don't have that much stuff. In fact, I'm getting at the point where I have more fish stuff than Peter's stuff. Hey, thank you very much, Tater Salad. Really appreciate it. Have a great night. Enjoy dinner. And I know all of us are going to be doing the same way as we get into our food comas. Now, does everybody have turkey on Thanksgiving, or do you do steak? Do you do seafood? Do you do turducken, which is the turkey on the outside, then a chicken stuffed in, and then a duck stuffed in? I've had it, by the way. It's great. It's great. I love a turducken. Pizza. There you go. Nothing wrong with pizza. I haven't done pizza on. I did go to Waffle House for breakfast, pork chops and eggs. So it's just turkey right now. Crystal's cooking the turkey, and ham and turkey usually, but tacos this year. Yeah, tacos. Um, well, the deal is with turkey. One of my aunts, and I won't say which side of the family's in, and she's a lovely, lovely woman. I mean, sweet person to be around. She makes turkeys that you could, you would have to take a jackhammer to cut. I mean, you want to talk about dry. Holy cow! I don't know what she does to make it this dry. And she cooks other things just fine, but for whatever reason, turkey is just yeah, it's not good. So it's and again, just one of the sweetest people in the world, just can't cook a turkey. So it's so when I got my first job in my industry while I was in college. And the company I worked for, every year for Thanksgiving, they gave you a turkey, and then they would give you another turkey for Christmas. So I'm like 20 years old. I was probably about 22, and I had a couple of frozen turkeys. So I'm going, well, what do you do with them? I guess you cook them. So I started this deal with some friends of mine. Is I work in marketing, Chewy, and so I go in. Uh, it I end up getting. So I learned how to cook a turkey. I called my mom because my parents lived 2,000 miles from where I was. And how do I do this thing? So I started for years. I would cook up a turkey on Super Bowl Sunday and have buddies over. Well, this party turned into such a big deal that that we ended up. I had some buddies and I had this thing, and we would have 40 people over, and people would bring over. We did like a ham on the grill. We did all sorts of stuff. I did 2 turkeys, and 44 Mag guy. Welcome to the live stream. And so that's what I would do is that we did this yearly thing. So I can cook a full turkey, but I'm trying not to eat a lot of meat these days. So I didn't do a full turkey this year. Last year I did a duck. I cooked duck for Thanksgiving. It was great. Absolutely great. I enjoyed it very much. I failed at doing one thing with the duck that and I think I didn't get to the store in time to get something to defrost it properly. Um, if I wasn't going to do duck, if I was going to do duck again, you have to leave the tin foil off the container for a good period of time to brown that skin, to have that skin nice and crisp. And I really didn't do that my first time cooking it. So I'll do it again sometime. It's I'll figure out how to do that. But today we're going to do the smoked turkey, which I like a lot. I think it's great. It doesn't take as long. Put in the oven for 350 for an hour. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm ready to rock and roll with the delicious baked potatoes and green beans. By the way, green bean salad. Where do you guys come down on it? I'm sort of ambivalent on the green bean salad. I like it, but it's like, do I go out of the way to do it? Not really. I like it, but I really don't go out of the way to enjoy it. So I know a lot of people do. Let's see who. Let's see, my phone just went off, and so that's sort of the deal there. By the way, I got one of those rings, and one of these things, and it is when my landlord was coming in, they were coming in to spray my house and do HVAC. I greeted them at the door from work. And so I'm going, good morning. And the lady who was there, and she's not like the head lady of the company, she like freaked out that I was greeting her. Freaked out. And when they left, I said, thank you guys so much. When can I go back into the house? Yeah, you see, I may pull out some of the green beans for the fish. It's a rinse it off real good and give some to, uh, especially the amicas and the plecos and guppies and stuff in the bigger tank. Yeah, I don't have mystery snails. I have ramshorn snails. I have pond snails, And I have all of a sudden I found that I have Malaysian trumpet snails. I have no idea how I got those. And I have assassin snails, which are great. They're doing a good job, by the way, taking care of business. And it's so I have them. Yeah, you see, there you go. Yeah, I know pond snails are the worst, absolute worst. I put a yellow squash in last night. I made yellow squash with my dinner, and I put one in the Amica Splendens and one in the 55 in a clip, and I got rid of about 40 snails. Right? I mean, it was covered with snails, and it hasn't really returned, so that's good news. I got a bunch of them, and you know what? I did near right snails when I lived in Little Rock, and I killed them, man. I don't know what I did. I did something wrong with them. I went and did that and got rid of them. So, by the way, drinking a diet 7 Up. As I cook dinner, I'm probably going to have a barley pop. So I went to the quote unquote gourmet booze store and I got like 6 different types of beer. So I'll have that before yeah, people are have this thing about diet soda. I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me with the taste. I cannot handle all the carbs in like in a sugared pop. I just can't do it. So well, that is good news, Ambist. It's yeah, my water here is, and maybe that's why I killed them off in Little Rock. Little Rock was just like West Coast water. I mean, it's just very acidic. No, it's not very hard, very soft. Good water to breed, discus in, and from some African and South American cichlids that like, a Corridora is really good. Yeah, there are some that I can't drink. And I'd go through periods. I used to not be able to drink. My go-to beverage for a long time was Diet Pepsi, and the uh, they changed the recipe, and I haven't done there. So yeah, the green bean salad is yeah, no, that is really good. You know, hey, don't worry, Don. Welcome to the live stream. Great having you here. You're not late. It's everybody's busy today. I fully get it. And you guys spending time with me is great. I really appreciate it, and Bolo appreciates it too because it keeps me on the couch, and that's where Bolo wants me. So let me tell you how cranky my dog has become as he's gotten older, and it's he I took him for his walk last night at like, pretty insanely early times, and and it's and he barked at me till I went upstairs. I will go upstairs. He goes in the corner, goes to sleep. If I head downstairs, he follows me down, starts barking at me again. So I have to sit there and watch TV in bed, which is fine. So yeah, I'll tell you now. Now, Logan, what do you use to buffer your aquariums? You use uh, crushed coral. I was using that in Little Rock with a lot, but I know people do it in different ways. Yeah, surprised they're all do that every once in a while. Yeah, so I can't drink Diet Pepsi. Don't ask me why. I used to love it. All of a sudden, it tastes too sweet for me. And so, ooh, a ranch flavored turkey. You cover it up in ranch sauce as you cook it? So, yeah, that sounds really good. Um, Now, on my turkey, I don't do if I'm making a whole turkey, here's what I put on my turkey on the outside and I rub it down with is Caesar Cardini's pesto pasta sauce or pesto pasta dressing. And I rub it down in that and put a little bit of hey, thank you very much, Bob, for putting that up. Yeah, we have a Patreon and we have a Teespring thing. You can actually have a Mobb Guppy mug, or your baby, if you have a baby or a grandchild or something like that, or a baby that somehow, you can get a Mobb Guppy onesie. Ooh, yeah, now that's something like there. So, and then on the inside, I put butter as I stuff it up. In my dressing, my dressing is, I do like the, seasoned Pepperidge Farm, but I cut up an apple, like a good pie apple, like a Macintosh is really a good one. And I cut it up and I mix that in. I boil up the gizzards. I slice up the gizzards and I put that in the, I like the heart and the liver, and the turkey neck. And I put that into the dressing and hey, everything fish, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Thank you for stopping by the live stream. So that's what I end up doing. I end up stuffing it up pretty good, and the water that I season I season the water with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of garlic, and I also do a, a few bay leaves. It adds a nice flavor, and I usually slice up onion. So the gizzards have a nice sort of, it has a good taste to it. So that's what I do, and then cook away. But this year I didn't do that, so it I have to go out and see. I need to get back on the plan. I was on my eating plan really, really well, and I moved and I stopped going to a nutritionist. I have to find out if my new health plan covers that. My last one did. So the deal is I have to report to someone about my eating, and so it's easier for me to go through. Yeah, you see there is that ginger. Yeah, no, that's fine. I cannot eat. I cannot feed Bolo anything off the reservation. I mean, the only food I can give him from the table, if I boil up, if I'm cooking chicken breast or something, and I can boil up a piece for him, small piece, and shred it up for him, but with no seasoning. He gets if it's he gets his teeth around any type of people food, it's generally, he's generally throwing up or throwing up or having diarrhea or something like that. And he's too old now. It's a little guy. He's just it's he's got a heart condition, so it's growing from there. Okay, you mix ranch mayo, garlic powder, butter, paprika, smear it all over, and wrap it in foil and bake it. Stuff too. Found a recipe on YouTube. Yeah, very good. One of the recipes that I tried is Ann Burrell's recipe for turkey. It's a brining of the turkey. And it's with like uh, a sausage stuffing type of thing. Um, I found I found that the stuffing really wasn't that great. The turkey was very, very good. Brownie was a good idea. but it's like, you're sitting there brining something for 3 days ahead of the, it's a real pain in the neck. You have to get a brining bag and you have to do all that sort of stuff. Yeah. For me, the work to go into it, versus the taste payoff, I have no problem doing something. And hey, no problem, Everything Fish. Thanks for being a part of the live stream today. And I get it. It's Thanksgiving. People have family stuff going on. People have all sorts of things going on. So just thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And I know that all of you guys, you have things going on and stuff like that. Yeah, it is a little less time consuming, Zen Ginger. You're absolutely correct. But it's just that's sort of the deal. A casserole, chicken, cream of celery, vegetables, layer of potatoes covered by you see, when I was a kid, my dad was in sales. So there were days, there were times that my father was doing really well, he was killing it. And my parents never talked about financial stuff at the table. I just knew we were doing well. If all of a sudden we're eating a lot of steak, we're eating a lot of stuff like that, I know everything's pretty good. I know all of a sudden we're having tuna surprise, tuna casserole surprise, 5 nights in a row with a little bit of a different angle. Ooh, this one has broccoli. I knew, yeah, maybe it isn't going that well. Yep, I've got a Patreon page, Don. I haven't done much with it yet, but I do have a Patreon page. And so someone was asking about it, and I figured, okay. And I haven't brought it up a lot, mainly because I did that because people were just brought up wanting to know if I had one, so I did it. So yeah, I'll tell you what, stuffing. If the stuffing is really good, I'll tell you the two things in stuffing that my mom did that I was not a big fan of. God bless her soul. She's been gone for a couple of years now. She would put walnuts and celery in the dressing. Really? And it was just she got like, I mean, she would get excited over walnuts in the dressing. I mean, she was just in love with putting walnuts in the dressing. Bob, your mom did too. Yeah, I don't know what this thing came from. My grandmother, my mom's mother, was multi-generational New World French family. And the family had initially immigrated to Canada, then came down in the 1800s to Michigan because they wanted the warmth of Michigan. And they resided in Muskegon. So my granny was this by scratch French cuisine chef. I mean, she made everything. It was just unbelievable. I mean, she was a killer in the kitchen. My mom and her sisters didn't learn from their mom how to cook like this. One of my uncles did. One of my uncles could make, scratch pancakes, could do, and my granny never looked at a recipe book ever. She just looked in. One of my aunts, though, did this. Is that I remember as like a kid, we went. In fact, it was Thanksgiving, and it was the morning of Thanksgiving, and one of my aunts, who's nicknamed Auntie Wonderful was, my dad, Auntie Wonderful came out. She goes, "What do you want for breakfast?" And 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 I will tell you that my dad goes, "Eggs Benedict," and my aunt goes, "Oh, I love to make that." And my mom was ticked at my aunt, but we all had eggs Benedict. She goes, "I have ham. I have, She made a hollandaise sauce by scratch, and it was pretty good. It was, but my granny, yeah, she was just, yeah, it was just, and my grandfather was a heck of a guy. He had a great sense of humor. I learned a lot from him. And I wish we lived 2,000 miles away from them, so we didn't spend a lot of time with them. I didn't spend a lot of time with my grandparents until I was an adult, where we lived in the same area for a period. And so I spent some time with them. And my grandfather had a side fridge. Instead of a side chick, he had a side fridge. And in his side refrigerator, he had stinky cheeses. That's all that was in there. Limburger, Gouda, whatever type of, the just, you know, some stinky cheese. And my granny wouldn't allow him to put it in the main fridge, so he had that the stinky cheese fridge. And your band name will be Killer in the Kitchen. You see, there you go. Yeah, I love cheeses too. I'm a big fan of cheese. By the way, there's a joint I had food delivered by Bite Squad or something. Uh, a few weeks ago, and I got home from work and I didn't want to cook. I was fried, so I did Bite Squad, and I had a burger that had unbelievable bacon on it with blue cheese and what I forget what they called the sauce on it. It was just really, really good. Yeah, so yeah, I appreciate cheese. I like cheese. Yes, I do. I like cheese. How about you? All right. All right, gang. We've been around for a little over an hour, and I need to start cooking dinner. So I appreciate you guys being here for the live stream today. We'll see you Saturday night. We'll do the live stream normal time, 6 p.m. Central Time. That's 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Saturday night, and we look forward to seeing you then again. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to my mods. Thanks for everybody. I really appreciate all of you. And again, have a great, happy, and blessed Thanksgiving.